Let's talk weddings, part 2. This should be fun. Today we're going to talk all about second shooters. All the things, weddings, part 2, and we're going to talk about second shooters. What's up, y'all? Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone is doing good. I'm going to give it a few minutes to get people on here. So, hi. Thank you for joining. What's going on? I had a bright idea the other day, a couple weeks ago, to do a Let's Talk Weddings series, and it's been going fun. So if you are joining, say hi. I love when people come in, say hi, let me know where you're joining from. Hi, Keith. What's up? Let me know where you're tuning in from. I would absolutely love that. My name is Ray Whitney. I am a wedding and portrait photographer and a photography business coach based in Houston, Texas. So I want to come on and talk about weddings. I've been a wedding photographer for 9 years. I'm in my 9th wedding season. And I've seen it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay. So I just want to have a really cool, candid, open conversation about weddings in hopes to help other brides-to-be couples as they plan their weddings, understand more about weddings, because I realize there's just so much that people don't know. Hey, hello. Thank you for saying hey. Hey, I'm Latasha from Chicago. Love that. Hi, Latasha. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Irish girl. Thank you for joining me. Let me know where you guys are joining from. I love that. We got Chicago in the building. Love that so much. So really quickly, before we talk about second shooters, I want to remind everybody I'm hosting a styled shoot here in Houston, Texas, that's going to be focusing on portraiture, editorial portraiture, and personal branding. And I think it really goes hand in hand. If you are trying to continue to work on your style, be able to be in more creative environments to up-level your portfolio, show a more diverse portfolio so you can book a higher, sophisticated, more styled client, I would love, love, love that. So we're doing that here in Houston, Texas next month. It's going to be a really good time. Such a vibe, doing it in conjunction with 201 Loft House, which is a content house here, content studio here in Houston, and it is so cute. So come and join us. Come and join us. If you want more information, just let me know. Slide in my DMs, and I will absolutely share the link with you. I would say comment style shoot, but it's not set up like that. Oh, Kayla, hi. Hey, girl, thank you so much. Reppin' Cali. Hey, Irish girl, Reppin' Cali. I love that so much. Thank you, Kayla, for the love. Okay, let's talk weddings. Yes, I love 201 Loft House. It's so cute in there. And so I'm really excited to partner with them to put together this style shoot for photographers, for videographers, for content creators to come in and really up-level their portfolio. I think it's going to be a good time. So Kayla, if you know some photographers who would be good for it, tell them to come on, slide through. It's going to be a vibe. And it's all about being able to shoot what you want to book. And a lot of times we don't always have those opportunities early on in our business because, the clientele you might be booking does not necessarily always represent how you want your brand to be perceived. And so that's why you come to a creative style shoot like this, where you can really create some really beautiful things in a really beautiful space. And it's going to be styled and curated. All you have to do is show up with your camera gear, some charged batteries, and an empty memory card, and we're going to have a time. Okay. So I would love that so much. So let's talk weddings. This is part 2. So I was shooting a wedding a couple weeks ago, and it just hit me. All of these topics just came flooding to me. I'm like, I want to talk about weddings, because the couple, when we were shooting, they were like, oh my gosh, I never knew it was going to be all of this. Like, I never knew that the wedding day was going to be this, like that photography would be this involved. They just had no idea. And a lot of times couples just don't know, right, until you're on the day. And if you hire a great photographer, I love that for you so much. But imagine hiring a not so great photographer and you're like still didn't know what to expect, I've heard horror stories. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so my hope is to do this series here to talk about topics that happen on almost all weddings, no matter how big or small, and just to help to debunk some myths, to help to bring some education and some conversation to the flow of a wedding when it comes from a wedding photographer's perspective, in hopes to help other couples that are planning weddings know more about it, okay? Virus, fake, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, but it's okay. Maybe that's a little bot we got going on. So let's talk weddings. We're going to talk second shooters. This should be a really short one because to me, second shooters, it's like straight to the point, right? So the first thing I wrote down is like, do you need a second shooter? And I get this question all the time. Like a lot of, people like, do I really need a second shooter? Why do I need a second shooter? So I always tell couples on a consultation when they talk with me about second shooters, if you have a wedding day that is going to have over 50 guests, then I would highly suggest a second shooter, because at the core of it all, I cannot be everywhere at one time. Like I just can't. And even when I try to split my time in different places, I'm absolutely going to be missing something. Like I absolutely am. I'm probably going to be wasting my time running around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to go from one location to the other, if you really think about it, right? So a second shooter helps to add that photography coverage on the wedding day that is really needed when you have a larger guest count, a larger wedding day, a larger flow, and all the things. And so I always tell people, if you have a wedding that's over 50 to 75 guests, then you probably need a second shooter. I think a real benefit of a second shooter as well is to help tell that creative story. The second shooter is getting some like crowd shots and guest shots and just like other shots that the lead shooter, cannot get, specifically during like the ceremony, during cocktail hour. I'm usually doing portraits with the bride and groom or the bridal party. They are there for just like that another layer of perspective when it comes to the wedding day. And I think that's really cool. About 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to second shoot. I do not get to second shoot that often because my schedule does not permit it. And however, I did, and I was just reminded of the beauty of a second shooter. Like there's just so much freedom and creativity that gets to flow as a second shooter. I had no idea who the couple was. Of course, I knew their names and I knew the flow of their day, but I didn't know them, right? So I got to come into the day and really like create images based on just my perspective of what I was seeing, as opposed to kind of knowing the flow and following a list that the client gives you, right? And so I think that is really cool, really fun. And I also really got to support the lead photographer, because as a lead photographer, there's so much going on in our heads. There's so much going on around us. There's so many things that we're thinking about that we're trying to make sure that we capture and help the clients through, right? And so the second shooter, I can then support the main shooter in making sure that she's thinking about, getting the shots that she told me about. She has water, that if she needs something set up or she needs me to step in creatively and like kind of take the lead, take the reign, like I'm able to do that, right? So that leads me into my other point when it comes to second shooters. How do I go about picking second shooters? Like for me, second shooters are professional wedding photographers, right? They're very much so vetted. I want to say that this is not just someone that, has a camera and I'm just like, go for it. That's not this, And so for me, I am always kind of training up my second shooters, like putting them in a little bit of a training, a little boot camp, if you will. And so sometimes when they are in quote unquote training, if they want to be like, I'm not like whatever, but I'm very picky about my second shooters, because the concept is if something were to happen to me, if something were to happen to my gear and my equipment, the second shooter's images and body of work really needs to be comparable to mine so that it could stand up in a gallery, right? I remember I've had the days now where I hired second shooters thinking that they were capable of being able to create on the dime, fast, use flash, right? Like do these things, and they absolutely were not. And here I am paying them hundreds of thousands of dollars to have them help me on their wedding day, and I'm only using 13 photos. Like it's a really, really not a good feeling, right? So you learn a lot of lessons in entrepreneurship in general, just being open, just being honest. And so for me, I'm very particular about my second shooters. They have to be wedding photographers, and they have to be well versed in off-camera flash, because I just believe as a wedding photographer, you have to know how to use flash, right? All weddings, all day is not going to warrant you the ability to just shoot natural light. As much as we love natural light, it's not always that, right? Last month I had a wedding, and Y'all, we had planned for all of these beautiful portraits in the garden. They were doing a first look. I mean, we had planned for all of the things so that we could get all these pictures. And you all, it literally rained cat and dogs. It rained cat and dogs on their wedding day. So no, we did not get to get those beautiful portraits in the garden. We didn't get to do all of these things. We had to come up with a plan C, D, E, right? In order to execute and get their portraits. And while I still love their pictures, to me, like, that is the value, one of the many values of having a real wedding photographer, is like someone that can think quick on their feet and not stress the bride and groom out while they're thinking quickly, right? Like, this is a day that they have planned for, that they have paid for, that all of their family and friends are here for. They have been literally anticipating this day all of this time. And like, my biggest goal for any wedding day is to make sure that my couples have the best day ever. I want to make sure they're smiling, they're happy, they're well served, they feel good, and they just get to bask in the moment, and that they know that they're in good hands with me, right? And so imagine you do all this planning, and then it's like super rainy, super dark and gloomy, super humid, all of these things, all of these weather conditions that just are not, you have no control over. That happens, right? But as a wedding photographer, I was able to relax them, let them know our game plan, where we're going to set up the first look so that they're covered, so that her dress doesn't get wet and dirty, so that he doesn't get dirty and wet, and all of those things. We were able to get portraits. We were still able to go on with the show and just create in a way that felt good. So for me, I'm very particular about my second shooter. It has to be a professional wedding photographer. They have to be well versed in off-camera flash, because that's how I shoot. And they have to have a comparable style to mine, to my style of work, so that when I put the gallery together, it just seamlessly fits, right? So the second shooter pretty much stays with the groom as for the first part of the day. For me, everybody does it a little bit different, but I'm speaking about my experience and how I provide service to my bride and groom clients, right? So my second shooter is with the groom during groom prep, while I'm with the bride during bridal prep. And so during that time, she's getting pictures of the groom and all of his groomsmen and all of the people that are in that room, getting portraits of him, full body, half body, all the things that we've talked about, getting pictures of all of them together, and just trying to get as many pictures in the prep part of the day, so that after the ceremony, when the bride and groom are together and the bridal party is together, some of those pictures have already been done, right? And so that's another really important reason why I have to trust this person, their skill level, their ability to control the environment, to control the room. That's a big thing for wedding photographers, is the ability to be assertive in moments, right? Because the day happens fast, and the couple and the family and friends, they're just experiencing it, but we are capturing it, and we have to think about what's important to the client, like the things that we've talked about. And so that second photographer is with the groom while I'm with the bride during prep. And then also just going to help, again, assist the lead photographer, get creative shots, get different angles, different perspectives of really key moments, like the kiss, walking down the aisle, maybe the groom's reaction during the ceremony, maybe even some of the family and friends' reaction during the ceremony. They also usually are able to make a nice little lap during cocktail hour to capture some pictures at the cocktail hour for about, 10, 15 minutes, get some group shots of the family and friends, the hors d'oeuvres that are passed, just things, the vibes that are going on there, while the lead photographer literally is doing portraits with the family and portraits with the bride and groom and portraits with the bridal party, right? So there's just so many pieces that are happening during a wedding day, and that second shooter just adds that next level, right? So again, if you have a wedding where you are having over 50 guests, I highly suggest a second shooter. For me, I include a second shooter in my most popular package, which is my Dangerously in Love package. A second shooter is included in that package, along with 8 hours of wedding day coverage. So that's how I go about second shooting. And so yeah, that's kind of what they do. I think that there's a lot of beauty and freedom in the second shooter, but there's also a huge responsibility for them to capture, to be timely, to be assertive, to be the authority, a part of the team, the creative team for the day, and just making sure that we get what we have been hired to get. Like, I do not play when it comes to that. Okay, so I know a lot of times people, like, I've had photographers ask, like, oh my gosh, I want a second shoot for you. Like, oh my gosh, I want to shoot with you. Let me know when you need a shooter. And it's not, for me, it's not just enough to know your gear. Like, that's great. You have a mirrorless and a 50 and an 85 and a 72. You have all these things, but are you, like, what is your work? You know what I mean? Like, are you able to really curate an image that is strong and dynamic? Are you, do you have the ability to see light and shape light? Do you have the ability to be an authority figure, to take, to take control of the day? Let me know. Golden Lee T Photography, how did you pick the name of your wedding packages? Oh, I love that. That's such a cute question, girl. So first of all, if you can hear me, can you guys, like, just give me a heart or something? Something just happened with my phone, and I just want to make sure you all can still hear me. So if you can hear me, just give me a little heart, a thumbs up. We can hear you, anything like that in the chat before I'm just, like, talking on. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Awesome. So I picked the names of my wedding packages because I love Beyonce. And honestly, a lot of my ideal clients, my brides, love Beyonce too. So it becomes this conversation piece. So the Dangerously in Love package is my most popular package. And when they're like, oh, okay, come on, Beyonce, we can now have a whole conversation because I am a member of the Beehive. I sit on the executive committee of the Beehive. Okay. And so a lot of my brides and my ideal couple does too. And I love it and it works. And who doesn't love, Beyonce songs, right? So that's how I picked my package. But thanks for that question. I know, it's so fun. Yes. So I always just know, like, Dangerously in Love is my most popular package. It's 8 hours, 2 photographers, engagement session. I also cover the makeup for the engagement session for my brides to be, as a way to connect them with amazing makeup artists. My top package is Love on Top. AKA, you see the top package, you see what it did there? And that one is more of a 12-hour coverage day, and it also comes with an album. So, yeah, I picked it based on Beyonce. Okay, Beyonce song, so yes. But just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about weddings. Let's talk weddings. This was part 2. We talked about second shooters, what they do, how I pick second shooters, and do you need a second shooter, right? I just think that it just adds so much value to your gallery. And I love to say this, like, one thing you don't want to do, and I know I'm a little biased. when I say this, but one thing you don't want to do is skimp on photography, because we literally capture everything from the prep all the way to the end. Like, we are part of the day. And I think that when you pick a wedding photographer, you really want to pick someone that has good vibes, good energy, that you feel good about, because that's going to help you just be relaxed and have that trust in them, so that you can just, like, experience the day and not be trying to micromanage the day and stressed out about all the things, right? Like, I think that would be a waste of time. And I just think it's important to experience today. Like, you've paid for it, you've prepped for it. This is a big day, a big moment for you. And I think it's just important to be in the moment. And so, yeah, so that's all about weddings. Hi, Kim. Hello there. Thank you for joining my live. So this was part 2 of Let's Talk Weddings. Again, my goal here is to help people that are planning weddings, maybe even photographers. I know a lot of photographers join these lives and are part of these conversations, and I love that. Maybe you can use some of these tips and things that I'm sharing to talk to some of your couples about preparation for their wedding day. Hey, take it or leave it. Everybody does something a little different, and everybody has a different perspective and a different experience and a different kind of client flow. And so I just want to be open about what I do, and, create some dialogue around the wedding day, because there's just so much that you don't know what you don't know. And I feel like the day to find out is not on your wedding day. You know what I'm saying? I think that when you hire really good vendors, like, they're going to help you kind of hold your hand, walk you through all of these things, so that you can feel comfortable, confident, and that you can experience the day as you should. You know what I mean? All smiles, on the cloud, doing your thing, having a ball, living it up, with your new honey, okay, your new spouse, husband, wife, all those things. So I think that is what's really important. What's the best way to give critiques to a second that you love their personality, but they don't have the same professional standards? Photos are amazing though. Oh my gosh, such a good question. So I have a kind of like a caveat question to that, and I feel like we can just chit chat in the chat, me and you, girl. Latasha, I just went back to make sure I know your name. Okay, Latasha, it's me and you here. So tell me a little bit about like their professional standards that are not matching yours. Are they not timely? Are they like rude to your people? Oh, that's so hard. I think that at the end of the day, the second shooter absolutely represents your business. There that wedding day that the client and the family and friends are experiencing. And I think that's a really big part of it, right? Like, who wants to have a rude vendor? Who wants to have a rude or nasty photographer? You know what I mean? Now, I said I've seen it all, okay? I've had wedding guests that are rude to me and nasty to me and mean to me, which is just so unfortunate. But being the professional that I am, I just disregard them. Like, I know that I'm there to serve my couple and my client, and we have that rapport and that relationship. And so when it comes to the second, for me, they're 30 minutes. I knew it was time. I knew you were going to say that they were late. Okay, so you're going to have a conversation about that, because being timely is so important. Like, the photographers can't be late. You know what I mean? Like, that just doesn't work. Like, just like the makeup artist can't be late. Like, the officiant can't. Honestly, no vendor really should be late. Now, things happen. Sometimes you get a flat tire. Sometimes you get in a car accident. Sometimes there's some traffic. Things happen, right? So we have to have grace in those scenarios. But I think you have to be really honest about them being timely. And if they don't catch that hint, maybe you need to tell them that they need to be, like, instead of them being there at 1, you tell them be there at 12:30 for the actual 1 o'clock start or something. They don't dress professional. See, you also have to call that out, right? Like, some of my clients have dress codes not only for the guests, but they want the vendors to look nice, and I can respect that. I respect that totally. Now, I'm not about to come in no sexy dress and this and that and heels and that. No, I'm on my feet too much. I'm up and down too much. I'm carrying too much heavy equipment to be doing all that. But I can look really nice, I could beat a face. I could do my hair. I could put on a cute little all black situation, So I feel like you have to really say, hey, as a standard of Golden Tee photography, these are the things that I require. Number 1, for you to be timely. Our start time is 1 o'clock. I want you there at 12:45 or 12:30, right? Just to check in, so I can give you your memory cards. We can make sure our cameras are synced and things like that. Number 2, please be professional. No leggings, no shorts, no this, no that. You know what I mean? Like, lay it out. And they sit on their phone instead of staying busy. Oh. Honestly, the more I think about it, Latasha, I don't know if that's a second shooter for you. And I hate that, because I know that a good second shooter is not easy to come by. I know that, But I think at the same time, they represent your brand. And the fact of the matter is that there might be another client in that room. Like, your next client might be in that room watching how y'all are rolling, how y'all are moving, how y'all are doing business. And so if she is not representing you well, especially in times when they can't see you, I feel like you kind of have to speak up. And you probably got to get on the hunt for some other second shooters. Now, a good second shooter is not easy to come by, but it's not too difficult. I think, again, you have to vet them. And you have to think about, what are your qualifications that you're looking for them, right? Like, for me, off-camera flash, off top, period. Okay, period. Almost to the point where I've had a second shooter show up and they didn't bring flash, and baby, I cut the day short for them, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to use your photos. Like, I know it. You know what I mean? Like, I know how I shoot. I know how the spaces needs to be lit up, and I know, like, the work needs to be comparable. I've also sent a second shooter back home to get their stands to come back. I don't care how long it takes you. Well, I do kind of care how long it takes you, but I need you to go home and come back, right? Because I need you, like, that's just a big part of, for me, right? But that's hard. That's a really hard one. I would have those difficult conversations and see if they adhere to it. At the end of the day, you're paying them, right? Like, this is a paid opportunity for them. So they need to, like, really respect that. And if they don't, then you're just gonna have to find someone else, unfortunately, Latasha. So good question. Very good question. So again, you guys, this is just my little wedding topics. I'm about to do my coaching call with Elevate. If y'all don't know about Elevate, y'all, the photographers, Elevate is the place to be. That is my group coaching program. It is a year-long program. It is phenomenal. I help people double, triple, quadruple, the 5x their revenue in their business, and just help them understand marketing, apply, and just be more of the CEO in their business. And so Elevate's the place to be. We will have an enrollment later on this year for 2025 year. So stay on the lookout for that. If you are in need of, you want to work with me, or you need some help in your business more immediately than for next year, I would love to do a VIP day with you. I would love to do, a strategy session with you. Like, just come on over to the DM, hit me up, because I see a lot of photographers on here, which I love that. I am a business coach for photographers and have done that for the last 5 years. And so I would love to work with you and help you within marketing, messaging, pricing, structure, whatever it is. Even if you want to shoot together, like, we can do that. I'm hosting a styled shoot here in Houston next month, June 7th. It's going to be a really good time. It's editorial portraiture and personal branding, a perfect way for you to perfect your style of work, a perfect way for you to learn, incorporate flash into your style of work, and without no client pressure, just in a creative place. It's at a beautiful, beautiful content studio. It's going to be styled, really, really amazing business owners that you're going to be shooting. I was going to call them models. We're calling them models because it's a style shoot, but they're real business owners. So you get to really understand their story and their craft and their business and their brand, and create images that tell that story. And that's why it's going to really help elevate that portfolio, that marketing for you, right? So come and join me, okay? It's in Houston. And yeah, like I said, if you need help, photographers, hit me up. Let's talk. Stay connected. I will come back next week and we will do part 3 of the Let's Talk Wedding series. This is going fun. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing evening, and I will talk to you guys soon. Okay, good night. Bye.